Hello, I've been wondering if I was to sell my Tesla, what other car would I buy? One thing's for sure, it would definitely be an EV, and I'm not going back to petrol or gas. I hope some of you can give me some information because I really don't know. It's all very well saying, yeah, I'm going to sell the Tesla and get something else, but what will I be gaining and what will I be losing? So I hope you can stick around and we can look at some of the information together. And if you've got any, please let me know in the comments below. Hi folks, my name is Nigel. I hope you can like and subscribe, and thanks very much for joining me today. Well, obviously the situation with Tesla sales are very poor at the moment, although higher in the UK than many other countries. Sales of cars, the number one car in UK was the Mini, second was the Tesla Model Y, third was the Tesla Model 3. And that's all cars, that's not just EVs. Not so good around the world, but we'll see what happens because they've got the Model Y refresh coming soon. But let's say I was thinking and looking. It's always good to look at alternatives to see what's out there. My wife thinks this is much too big, and that's number one. The car is too big. So a smaller car would be better. I wish Tesla would bring out the Model 2. But they talked about it years ago, and like many things, have never appeared. Vehicle to load, like the idea of in a power cut, you can come out to your vehicle and put a plug in, boil a kettle, a heater, whatever. Now, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, it can do that. I've seen many videos on that. F-150 has it in USA, and I believe the Cybertruck does, but we don't have those vehicles here. But there's also the MG4 and the MG5 EV that you have vehicle to load. So that's something it would be good if Tesla did. It would be nice one day to put in electricity in the early hours of the morning and use that in the house, but that we haven't got the technology now, although I understand it's coming. I know some people put in the big batteries in the house and that don't have solar, and then they can use the cheap electricity during the day. So that's one of the things would be a positive. But the trouble is the superchargers. Now, most of the year I don't go anywhere. I used to drive 200 miles a day when I was a rep. I don't do that anymore. So I do have days when I walk, I cycle, don't use the car. Later on this year, we've got 2 road trips coming up, and I will be using the car for quite a few miles. And then the Tesla superchargers come into their own. They're so easy and convenient. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, anyone can use a Tesla supercharger now. They're dearer and not as simple because all I have to do is reverse in and plug in. There is no app. It knows who I am. And it's almost like, you know, the days for you older ones before shops had automatic doors where you had to open a door. Well, you do sometimes, don't you, some shops. It's the same with the Tesla supercharger. You just reverse back and it's very simple, and plug in and go off and have a coffee or stretch your legs, go to the whatever. So that's very good, and nothing will be as simple. It's true, you can still use the superchargers knowing that it is going to work. The touchscreen information is fantastic because you're planning a route. It will tell you which superchargers to go to, how many are available, what the cost is. I'm 176 miles from my nearest supercharger, and when I hear some people say, oh, I'm 10-20 miles from a supercharger, I laugh. That's not a problem. So the information on here, and there's 2 ferries to get to the Inverness supercharger, and I'm north of that. Superchargers are great and it gives you information, but a lot of things, but something you won't be aware of is that let's say that it will tell you what percentage of battery you'll be left, whether it's 20%, 30%. And if the next supercharger is some distance and you're down to 5 or 6%, the way you drive the car, there is no stress because, okay, let's say it is 5%, as we found a few times when we went to Spain and Portugal, you just take your foot off the accelerator a bit. So doing 70 on the motorways, do 65. So there is no stress because you can see, and if you drive like an idiot, you possibly could run out of charge. Not that that's ever happened to me. So there's a lot of information here, which I do love. You have alternatives. It may show you it. For instance, if we'll put in Terminal 2 again, it will show you where all the stops are, and you can change it if you like, and you can see all these hold-ups in the traffic in the usual places, and you can change it, and it's going to show you exactly where the superchargers are, how much they're going to cost, and the much cheaper majority of public chargers. The thing with the Tesla is there's a lot of things you don't know until you've driven it. Cruise control's been around for decades and decades, but autopilot is something relatively new, and it's nice to use on a long journey, and it can make a journey more enjoyable from the point of view of driving. But I know all the advantages of this car because I've driven it for 3.5 years, and when I first had it, I really didn't have the clue. You know, there's the autopilot, the cruise control, Tesla superchargers tell you exactly where they are, and you can, and it's happened when I've been driving with Jennifer, my wife, that I try and avoid the busy times, but occasionally you get caught, and there were some superchargers that were busy, and she was able to look and say, look, there's people waiting, there's people driving to them, so we're going to have a wait. And she had a look and could see there were alternatives. Now, let's say you're going down to the southwest in the summer, heading towards Exeter, and Exeter's got loads of superchargers at the Exeter services. Is it 30 or 40? There's a lot. And let's say it's busy because the M5 gets busy. There is an alternative only a few miles away if you want it. So there's lots of options to you with the Tesla. And I don't know, I think I would miss something if I did sell the Tesla. I think that it could be a bit of a negative for me, and of course the depreciation. I've spent my life not buying new cars. I've had company cars which have been great because I would do 200 miles a day. I don't do that anymore. All my life I've been buying cars. When I first had them, 10 years old, and they got slightly newer and slightly newer, apart from the company cars. So I've saved a heap of money. Now, if I was to sell it now, I lose at least half, and that's not good. And in the next 4 or 5 years, I would only lose a fraction of that. So I don't really want to do that. So realistically, I'm not going to sell the Tesla. I think it's a great car, but it's interesting to see what those alternatives are. I'm hoping, because what happened in the last video, got lots and lots of information. Pretty much most people with the Tesla said, there's nothing as good. There were a few saying, nah, not buying it because of him, because of Musk, and I understand that. I respect that. I bought this before he was crazy, and I do enjoy driving it. But please let me know what you think. The referral code, how many cars that if you use your referral code, you get money back, £250 this year. I got money back last year. So if you know someone who's interested in buying, a friend, family, and they use your referral code, they get up to a 500 discount, and you get money as well. And this all adds up. Electricity is a fraction of the cost. Whether you get it at the Supercharger, it's about half the price, between half and 60%, depending on the time of day. And it's an eighth the cost if you charge at night. So there's a lot. So someone will say, oh, wow, great, you get £250 back and you buy a very expensive car. There's lots and lots and lots of savings. And over the years, I will be saving a considerable amount of money. So it all adds up that probably I can't see an alternative. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 looks nice. I don't know if it does everything that Tesla does. And perhaps you can tell me if it does, if you've owned an Ioniq 5 and if you've owned a Tesla as well. Same goes for the MG4 and the MG5. I don't know. What do you think? Please leave a comment down below. I enjoy all the comments. If you'd like to buy Jennifer me a coffee, that would be great. There's a link below. Likewise, if you are thinking of buying a Tesla, there is a link for a referral code and you'll get up to £500 off, or dollars in the USA, and money all around the world. There is discounts to be had. And and I would also say look at the cost of a used Tesla, or any car, any EV for that matter, because the prices have really come down a lot over the last few years, because the fleets, and people say, oh yeah, well that's because they're rubbish. Well, all car prices come down because it's majority of them are bought by the fleets and they sell them, so there's a lot on the market, but there's a high demand. People do want them. EVs in the UK are just going through the roof at the moment. Their numbers are well up, even if not so good with the Tesla, but we're still better than most of the world. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you can subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Don't forget to take your reusable coffee mug wherever you go. Oh, that's good. Have a great day. Bye.